Hello and good afternoon, or whatever time of day it is for you. I thought we'd start off today with wandering around Agartha for a bit, pick up any lore I can find, and then around the top of the hour we'll head over to Kingsmouth and see what we can get done over there. I know we can get to some of these branches down under the main platforms. It's just a matter of remembering what ones I can actually reach from here. And the answer there was none of them. It's close, though. Try again. Yes. There's Agartha 6. Warning. That interrupted me. Warning, Secret Worlder. Bring not the uninitiated into Agartha. The resonance here does not match the frequency of their meat. It precipitates a messy discord. Which pretty much means what it sounds like. Those not specifically invited by the bees will be torn apart if they try to come through here. There has been one person we'll learn more about later who came through with her 2 bee children that she had, and she was able to run through at least to the sunken library where she is being treated. The people that were following her and chased her in here, though, didn't make it. What will you do, sweetling? What can you do when every terrible thought rises gigantically from the putrid graveyard of the universe? How do you clean up when it drips into dimensions you can't reach? The custodians are meant to do more than stand and hulk and lurk, but they must be fed, they must be charged. Fill the vessels and they will eat. It's probably too late, but we will give you an A for effort when the universe collapses. For you. Anything for you, our love. Once upon a time, there was a sinking city. There was a sinking ideal. Dampness and corruption. Something rots in Venice. But what is time to us? We stand outside. We watch in reverse. Emit a nopu ekno. A city rises out of the water. This fills us with hope. You are not so lucky. You play a limited game, a few limited dimensions. The camera always pans forward. You can't go back. Everything gets faster and faster, and then you die. Game over. Enlightenment hurts, sweetling. Does your forehead tickle? A tickle becomes pain, becomes a suture crack, becomes a Caesarean gasp, and the third eye opens like a bullet hole obscenity. Breathe. This too shall pass. Why has the filth grown so bold? Why is our voice now so loud? What has changed? Look to Ground Zero. Look to Tokyo. Look especially to... Initiate the phantom limb syndrome. Somewhere, an old man lies sleepless in bed. He shakes the stump of his left shoulder, where a beast from the dark forest tore away his arm in his youth. He still feels a tingle where his limb used to be, a ghost echo in the brain. A dead arm haunts his body. Do you feel it too? Phantom dimensions tickle you. Do you really believe the world is strung together on only three? In the deep mind you've always known, even before we came to you, you chafe and cramp under the tyranny of three. Vestigial dimensions dangle from you, limp and invisible. They spasm when you dream. Undead moans from a forgotten atrophied node in your pituitary gland. In the depths of your R-complex, you carry the secret knowledge that space folds, that all points touch, that there is an in-between place you have but to reach out diagonally to touch it. But you never reach diagonally enough. Our wisdom flows so sweet. Taste and see. Transmit, initiate anima signal. Receive, initiate the cleansing protocols. Shout out the stain, initiate the panic button. This is not a test. Initiate white, yellow, teal, green, violet, red, blue. Witness, Agartha defiled. There are protocols in place. Well, there are vestigial limbs of ancient protocols in place. The trash of the Third Age is your treasure, sweetling. So many vestigial bits form the footprints only we can see. Do you even remember the terrifying things you used your appendix for in the Second Age? Hello, Pim. We're wandering around Agartha a little bit to pick up some extra lore. And we'll head back to Kingsmouth and try to finish off the east side. These people are dead. Technology and magic interlock like a two-headed calf. The craft is beyond the scope of your species. If the clever secret worlder can learn to ride the anywhere paths to reach faraway places, the anima touched may enter. But yeah, earlier we were talking about how those that aren't anima touched die horribly when they try to come in here. Though technically these guys worked at one of the shops in the mall. Yes, anime. Shush. Where they have the cheap accessories and weapons you can use. These guys also sold some. I think they just sold cheap green stuff. So they were killed off and thrown down here. Let's see. You got all of Agartha's. We're missing one Whispering Tide. That's the branch we explored before. Yes. Maybe over on that side. Or that one down there.
Next foot forward, what?
Thought that portal worked. I know there's some way to get up on that platform. Cannot remember where it is, though. there is a special secret platform that we'll learn more about later. Hello, hello. I hope it isn't too hard on you. We're just doing some wandering around Agartha. I was picking up some of the leftover lore. I'm still missing one for Whispering Tides, and I think I might need to get up there, but I can't remember how. One more thing I wanted to show off. Maybe that branch? I don't remember. I'll have to look that up and double check. But yeah, one more thing I wanted to show off before we head back to Kingsmouth. And that is the Druids of Avalon. Our wisdom flows so sweet. Taste and see. Transmit. Initiate the Cathbad cadence. Receive. Initiate the oral histories. There is no such thing as a true tale. Truth has many faces, and the truth is like to the old road to Avalon. Illimine, the Isle of Apples. Witness, the Druids of Avalon. And I mentioned it on Crowley's blog, but around the equinox, the Druids like to hang out up here. There's Fergus. Got some lore. We've got some people hanging out, probably picking up the missions and goodies. There's a special, kind of a like tower defense mission that you can run, and they're training sims out of Venice. And during the, oh no, they died. But during the equinox, you get extra goodies for running them. You have to defend Stonehenge, pretty much, against waves of enemies. It's level 50 plus, so Neil here can't do it yet. And I don't know if it's interesting enough to switch over to Crowley to show it off. But they're up here, hanging out. Look, sweetling. Look a few thousand years south of you. Yes. And look just a little further. Look and see, and we will stretch the time. Two Celtic armies march on one another. The war drums sound the heartbeat of inevitability. The chieftains smile viciously. They have waited years to settle old scores. There will be battle. There will be carnage. Even the earth is parched for the wine of slaughter. Yeah, I've never been. As I recall, the story is that the Druids of Avalon predict that something terrible is going to happen to Stonehenge in the near future, so they're running the simulations to train agents to protect it. Got some goodies here, clothes, titles. I think you can recruit Fergus as an agent when we unlock the agent system. But that's about it. I need to spend my points real quick. I meant to do that earlier too. Huh. Well, that's exciting. No, these ones I'm pretty sure are just rocks over here. which makes it more likely that using our chaos abilities will do damage divisible by 8, which helps generate our paradoxes, which is what kind of triggers the extra bonus abilities we get. Pistol, we want... unload. I'll go with this for now. And head back to Kingsmith. This one? Yes. Hello, Sai. We were just wandering around Agartha and just got back to Kingsmith. Probably going to start out with visiting Norma. Pretty sure she has an investigation mission for us that we didn't do because I forgot to pick it up. This is Neil. His sprint speed is so slow compared to Crowley's. It's a little bit terrible. But he's getting better at killing zombies, so we'll accept that. They deserved it. There's Norma's zombie bonfire. Let me see. How expensive is upgrading? Very.
It's a pressure building, the kind that comes before a storm when it builds and builds but just won't break. Yeah, the ravens, they feel it too. Last time I saw them like this, when the trees were more birds than branches, there were murders. Yeah, that was back in 2002, tail end of a long and wicked hot summer. By August, the whole town smelled rotten and we hadn't seen a drop of rain since June. When the storm finally broke and the ravens flew, the killing stopped. Never believed what the paper wrote about that vagrant, neither did Helen, despite those boys in city council leaning on her. Well, she took a beating. Could have hurt her career, but she was right. Wasn't human hands cut those girls open. An unkindness of ravens, isn't that what they call it? My idea of reading is the TV guide, not anything that could charitably be called literature. But even I know signs' importance when I see them.
Mom recalls a series of murders in the summer of 2002. She never believed the story served up by the news, and says the real culprit wasn't even human. A case of multiple murders in a small town like Kingsmouth must have been widely discussed in the newspapers. Find more information about the case. So this is our first proper investigation mission, which are the use your real-world knowledge to figure things out. Which is also, I'm going to be mean and expect people to try and figure them out, maybe? I suppose, where would we find more information about murders? Why harass the undead? I will limit you that we have, like, only been to this lower left side. So, like, about the church, down Main Street, around the bay. Might go save this guy who's trapped. Just because we're a nice, heroic person. I know this one is a bit tricky, so I'll probably have to help in parts because there's a mechanic that we need to use that I haven't shown off yet. Not the saving this guy, the investigating something wicked.
I've been waiting for someone to show up. Those are pretty good. Better than average. 50-50? There's still hope, right?
As I recall, the sneaky part is, if you get far enough away from him, he likes to run to catch up.
Like, now?
Sometimes less is more. When a model becomes too monstrous, certain of its equations must be removed. That is not to say we do not appreciate your data. All of it is essential, for all of it is true. However, we cannot pump everything into the system all at once. Kingsmouth is the product of a complex set of conditions. When the time comes, everything will be made to fit. For now, continue to mark your territory like a drunken dog. Thanks, boss. That was our first level 20 anything, really. Which means we can upgrade from green to blue. Yes. I don't know. Why not? Having a good time. Messy. But, right. If I recall correctly, the information about the murders... Hello. Is it City Hall, where we can access some archives. It's down one of these streets. Might be over there, actually. The town council, those who serve the Eye and Pyramid, believed that the attack was on them, precious occult archives and artifacts lost. But the citizens must be pacified. They howl like a mass of hungry dogs. These men of illumined influence feed the mob, toss them to harbor workers who are not local, have no family, no one to mourn. The noose hugs their necks. The mob is sated. Tell us, sweetling, which is more disturbing, that the guilty still walk, or that the innocent are so very desperate to kill? I think it was in one of these. Maybe we have to go to the sheriff's office first. No, wait, they're there. 94, 99. Here we are. The Solomon Chronicle. Killer charge. Transient farmhand Larry Chekon has been formally charged with the murders of Kingsmouth girls, redacted, and redacted. Townies who had been holding an all-night vigil on Elm gave an emotional response to the announcement this morning. It marks the end of a summer of horror that has gripped our little town for 3 months, and a state police manhunt making mainland news. Sheriff Bernman would not make further comment on the case ahead of the state press briefing. She has, however, asked that townies remain calm while justice works its course. We at the Chronicle know many of our readers have questioned the efficiency of the Solomon County Sheriff's Office, but there will be a time for those questions in the months following the trial. Details of the case were withheld by the sheriff's office, but information must surely exist somewhere. And we can look at a copy of the newspaper clipping. So now we need to find even more information. Who might have that information? Can I buy a soda? I cannot. Right. So, next step, we can check the sheriff's department computer here. It should have information on Larry Checon. Sunland County Police Department, number 2002-166, closed. Subject, death of suspect Checon Larry, in custody. alone with suspect at 1 a.m. Went over his full written confession for redacted. Multiple inconsistencies with his story and events, including redacted. You ask my ghost for the truth, Sheriff. Chekon took his own life in his cell between the hours of 4 and 5 a.m. Discovered at 7 a.m. Seen already, redacted. All outstanding work on investigation to be closed.
Don't make me have to file another missing persons report, okay?
Yeah, we won't. And his cell is over here. There doesn't seem to be anything we can do with it. The suspect killed himself while in custody. His last words of the truth would be told by his ghost. So now what? It's not letting us in. And the sheriff won't, give us the key so we can look around. Because this was, over 20 years ago. Apparently his ghost doesn't want to talk to us. Such a rude ghost. Just gonna wander around a bit. Some mail we can deliver, but we haven't talked to them yet. A new clue, a new trail of illumined thought. A year before the fire, a stranger broke into Solomon Priest's house, trying to steal Illuminati documents. He was dragged away cursing. The Eye and the Pyramid focused and followed this man. Evicted from Kingsmouth, he crept south, town to town along the coast, and toward the Spanish colonies, where he faded away. Somewhere around here that I wanted to pick up. A box of squid. Rotting squid fill these cartons, and the stench rips at the nostrils. Someone, or something, has a taste for putrid squid, and several boxes have been pulled off the truck and emptied. Follow the trail to find out what's snacking on the smelly squid. Whatever gorged itself on the squid left an obvious trail. Marks on the discarded boxes suggest it is large and not human. Be prepared for anything.
Visual tracking initiated.
You don't even need the visual tracking. Looks like some zombies are eating it. this is what killed Crowley the first time. At least according to story. The reality is she drowned several times to an event boss that she was underleveled for, and I accidentally blew her up once. But it was kind of necessary to do that, because of how we're going to solve our something wicked issue of talking to a ghost. So I'll head back closer to there to make sure we respawn at the right place. The mail has probably not been delivered since before the fog. In the current situation, who could blame the postal service? Still, receiving packages might lift the spirits of the few remaining survivors on the island. Neither snow nor rain, something about the gloom of night. Isn't that what they say? But the postman is nowhere to be seen. Better take the matter into your own hands. We'll probably be visiting Raven's Knock next. So go ahead and pick those up. Now that we're probably close enough, here is the trick. We kill ourselves. And while dead, we can wander around in our anima form. Sometimes, in certain locations, you can see things that are different than when you're alive, such as the jail cell being open and our deceased suspect being over here, just hanging out. The White Raven's whisper. Golden girls, sorrowful secrets are never told. Which definitely means something. But yeah, there's nothing else in here. An eerie message was scribbled on the wall of the cell, only visible in an alternate consciousness. The White Raven's whisper, golden girls' sorrowful secrets are never told. There's definitely more to these murders than meets the eye, and the ordinary world. Nah, I think he was just a madman scribbling nonsense. Except, we have a friend here. Lovely white ravens to lead us around.
One for sorrow.
One for sorrow.
3 for a girl.
3 for a girl.
6 for gold.
6 for gold.
5 for silver.
5 for silver.
7 for a secret.
7 for a secret, never to be told. Yes. Also, we're dead.
7 for a secret. 4 for a boy. Never to be
4 for a boy.
2 for joy.
2 for joy. And And we can interact with these ravens. We had to do it. Sometimes you must die to live, or something. Sometimes you have to die to talk to other dead people. But otherwise, pretty straightforward puzzle. White Raven's Whisper, Golden Girl, Sorrowful Secrets are never told. So we just have to use the 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, etc. poem. Choose the correct ravens, and then we can move on.
1 for sorrow. 3 for a girl. 6 for gold.
So, gold,
3 for a girl.
girls,
1 for sorrow.
sorrowful,
5 for silver. 7 for a secret, never to be told.
and 7 for a secret.
I'm looking for Jack the lad. You found him.
And there's Jack the Lad.
Additional assignment received. Initializing.
Came Jack-o'-lantern. I don't think we can actually fight him right now. Okay, bye. He appears like on each of the Solomon maps. You fight him a few times. He's also the special boss for Halloween, the 40-man raid boss. Or a version of him is. Because he is an archetype, and there have been many jack-o'-lanterns. What interests us is not Kingsmouth's inclination to murder and the occult, but its failed attempts to cover them up. It suggests a town that cannot bear what it is, and is therefore destined and desperate to tear itself apart. The history of Jack stretches back to the Great Famine in the West. It is a tale of a boy becoming what he is not. If it is meant to, the story will reveal itself to you in full, as will Jack himself. Meanwhile, continue to seize Kingsmouth by the buried hairs of its history. The past cannot hide forever. And we get an outfit and our very own raven as a reward. Excuse me. Got some nice shades. And our raven. There he is. Has an orange beak and looks a little like a seagull, but I assure you, he is a raven. He can follow us for a while. Maybe we'll put on our cool shades too. Hard shades. What do we look like? Yeah, we're will be cool. Yeah, call. So now we'll head to Raven's Knock. Magic, psychic readings, potions, charms, and spells. Also kitties. We have Sekhmet and Mahis. And Bast. And this is Madame Roger.
I sense an alien presence. The fog obscures a terrible truth concealed behind a veil of... Sorry, old habits. Hey, just so you know, I don't do readings anymore. I've been outside. You don't need second sight to foretell our future. We're all doomed. It's not like I'm gonna need the money. It's strange, but it's the dreams that really get to me, not reality. I can handle reality, but those nightmares just... It's like a really annoying song that gets stuck in your head, repeating over and over and over again. The dreams are always about ravens. Thousands of ravens. Flapping wings, black feathers, dead eyes. Beaks and talons tearing and clawing and screeching. Wings of death and pestilence. A black, timeless malice covering Kingsmouth like a funeral shroud. You get the idea. I don't know what any of it means, but it's doing a number on my beauty sleep, I can tell you that. You might have heard some rumors about me. It's not true. Not all of it. I mean, sure, before all this happened, I was an active young woman. You know, I like to play. But that doesn't give anybody the right to badmouth me. Small towns are all the same, filled with small-minded and petty people.
Don't know why she's broken. I would pick up her other mission, but it's locked until I complete this one, apparently. So let's chase some ravens. One, two. Bunch. And a revenant. Which like to teleport around. Let's learn a bit about revenants. What is time to us? We stand outside. There was a time, sweetling, hundreds of years south of you, when folk knew to burn the cadavers of certain wicked persons. We see them now, standing around the flames. Archers are ready, bows drawn and quivering. Should any animal, any rat or cat or crow, wander near the flames, that creature is shot. The people do not blink. They know that evil dies hard, and that even one animal can spread the pestilence again. Remember where the next raven is. Over here-ish somewhere. Ravens. 4. And 5. Circling again. I think they head down this way. Yes. 7. 8. And more circling. Our white raven is way cooler. Yeah, we can also kill this nice ice cream man. Some goodies. Well, I say nice ice cream man. He had a severed hand in his truck. A decaying human hand lies in a box near the Mr. Freezy van. A decaying human hand wearing a wedding ring lies in a box near the Mr. Freezy van. An inscription on the ring reads, Eric and Mindy, bound by love, 1874. So he was doing some grave robbing on the side. Nice ring. Looks like we've got some other assorted bits in there too. A couple torsos. Another hand. Hats. But we were following ravens. Ravens and revenants. And our flock grows ever larger. things going on here. We have a ritual for binding a malevolent spirit by placing the reagents at the points of the star. So we need to put a feather at the north, east, south, northwest, and southwest points. We've already got one here. This is what, southwest? There's south, southeast. Oh, Revenant's one. Eh. South Point. East Point. North and northwest. And we have summoned our Revenant. Or we will in a second. And there he is. Our wisdom flows so sweet. Taste and see. Transmit, initiate plague signal. Receive, initiate the murder of one. Now there's no going back. There's something undead in your mind and your eyes and your heart and your head. Illumine the local legends of New England. Witness the Revenants. Most Revenants in this game are going to be Raven-based. Sometimes we'll see groups of ravens just hanging out in a field, and if you startle them, a Revenant will manifest. But there are a couple that are also rat-based, which is kind of interesting. They behave a little bit differently. Not too differently, but... A woman who dresses up as a fortune cookie must not be surprised to discover fortunes inside of her. And if she calls her shop the Raven's Knock, it won't be eagles or crows that flock in her dreams. Irony is the laughter of chaos. Do not underestimate sign's importance. The Revenant is an omen. It smells the approach of death in the air. Learn to read the ravens, and you will learn to see death before it strikes. Hello, person. Maybe see if they need help. Got it, person? I can't see the inputs anymore. So making her nervous. I'll wander off. Come on, Raven.
Come here. I won't bite. I promise.
Will you keep talking to us this time? Let's see.
You might have heard some rumors about me. It's not true. Not all of it. I mean, sure, before all this happened, I was an active young woman. You know, I like to play. But that doesn't give anybody the right to badmouth me. Small towns are all the same, filled with small-minded and petty people. So if a married man breaks his vows, I'm to blame, right? Yeah, stands to reason he was bewitched and seduced through no fault of his own. Drum up the auto da fe, burn the witch at the stake. I find it amusing when they talk about me behind my back. More often than not, my most vocal detractors have been among my most frequent visitors. Jealousy and guilt are two very powerful incentives to exaggerating someone's promiscuity. I suppose I got lucky when the fog came. I was, tied up in here. I had this uncontrollable urge to walk into the sea, let the waters swallow me. But I was unable to, due to, you know, the plush handcuffs. The mayor wasn't as fortunate, but I suppose I can thank his fetishes for saving my life. In the commotion, he ran out of here, in his boxers, with the key to the handcuffs. Which probably means he's walking around out there somewhere, in his boxers, with the key to the handcuffs. I contemplated biting off my own hands, but then Andy found me, buck naked. Me, not him. He turned red as a tomato, sweet kid. But I didn't want to join the others at the station. I've had enough of that judgmental looks and the whispering. I'll fend for myself, thanks very much. I'm not from Kingsmouth. I moved here about 10 years ago. In retrospect, perhaps not the best decision I've ever made. First, my husband left me. Then I lost my house, my savings. Running away seemed like the best answer at the time. I moved around for a few years. I didn't have any applicable skills, no education. My options were limited. Hello, Kingsmouth, yeah. This town seemed as good a place as any to settle. Plenty of people in need of assurance, so I figured I'd give this fortune-telling business a go. And here I am, surrounded by the living dead, in more ways than one. Some nights exist out of time. They're not part of one season or the next. They don't belong to the living or the dead. Boundaries collapse. Mortals meet with gods, demons, ghosts, all that crap. Sacrifice, purging, divination, summoning. There are certain kinds of crazy you can't get away with on normal nights. Example, apparently it's the one night of the year mortals can make love with supernatural creatures. I know, fingers crossed, right? No, but seriously, if you know any single fawns, obviously I'm kidding. I mean, they don't have to be single.
We love you, Madame Roger. But yeah, she was sleeping with the sheriff's husband. We know that. We've already confirmed that with his notes. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start the vision and probably go get a drink. So I will leave you with this and be right back.
It was always about deception. The crystal ball, the gypsy clothes, the fake accent. Cheap props to make the fortune cookies easier to swallow. My customers, they bought into it because they wanted to. If there's no free will, if it's all about fate, life is a whole lot simpler. We can just say, hey, it was meant to be, and get on with it. That's the key to fortune telling. That's why people fall for it. We're all prisoners of our search for a higher meaning. It's all about mutual deception. I never believed I was telling people anything they didn't already know. Until now. I have waking dreams. Visions. I see auras. Auras! Yours, by the way, is bright enough to blind me. I see through the eyes of others. I can even see into the future, for real. The paths of fate, clear as day. It's almost like I've become who I've pretended to be all these years. Or maybe I'm just going crazy. I could be going crazy. I wouldn't blame myself if I was going, oh, great. Here we go again. I'm having another vision. They come and go like headaches. I can't really control them. Quick, before it passes. I see your twin paths. One leads to salvation, the other to defeat. I see black tendrils rising to embrace you. Voices whispering in your ear. Corruption from within and from without. Something rising from the bottomless deep to devour us all. To turn day into night. Sorry. I see something else. Our paths intertwine, converge, and at the end of it, Exodus. Inescapable, permanent, fated. On the tip of the pyramid, your path shall be revealed. That's as good as it's gonna get. Make of it what you will. Sometimes I get more visions, like the aftershocks of an earthquake. If that happens, I'll let you know. You won't even have to pay my usual fee. Let's call it a freebie, sweetie.
And that's the vision. The clue from Madame Roget's vision said, on the tip of the pyramid, your path shall be revealed. So now we gotta figure out where to go. On this map. We've expanded a little bit, so I'll say we're keeping to the Solomon Island portion. So not crossing any of these bridges. We're heading over to this little island over here. Fletcher Island, Priest Island. I'm sure it's just a bad dream. Where will we find a pyramid in such a small New England town? there is a desert. We will go to Egypt later. I think I read once that the island was based on Mount Desert Island. But there is not an actual desert here, no. There might be a sandbox at the park. Yes, we shall build the best pyramid. I think we could do something with this little dome of sand here. A weird black helicopter. But no, it wants us to head all the way down here to Pyramid Point, actually. We'll do that. I might look at the cell phone. I can't remember what the lost cell phone is for. You find an abandoned cell phone. Despite having a cracked screen and being wet, the phone still seems to work. If the owner is still alive, he or she would probably like it back. A label on the back of the phone reads, "Property of Danny Dufresne at Dufresne & Son Marine Supplies, Maine and Belmont. Go there and find Danny." Yeah, we can probably just drop that. We're heading that direction. Yes, sometimes it is that direct and that silly of going to Pyramid Point. Something Lady Margaret? Oh, up there. Sidetrack, I want to be on the roof. It started with stomach spasms that felt like writhing lampreys' nests hatching. Please don't interrupt me. Now I need to find where it was. Recent events, Lady Margaret. There. Writhing lamprey nests hatching in his belly. Then Joe could hear the hagfish singing in the crushing depths, even when he pretended he could not. Even the Q-tips snapped in half in his bloody ears. Madness bubbled in his brain like the bends. Then pale flesh, then barnacle sores and wriggling growths and sea cucumber discharges. Now Joe feels the itch and burn as a different species of coral battle for primacy in his chest, spitting up their digestive enzymes in time-lapse warfare. Something scuttles out of one body cavity to be eaten by something hiding in another. And though the seagulls scream 1,000 different stories, all Joe can hear is drog, 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 drog. I'm sure he's fine. Danny's out. We'll leave this in his mailbox. Bye, person. I hope you finish the ravens. Yeah, I don't... Did you hear, like, from the VODs what happened with the Lady Margaret? What we've got going on there? A fishing boat that got lost, and they found something that helped them get back, but the fog followed not long after, and the survivors came back a little weird. It's that boat over there, actually. Stuck and sad and covered in seaweed. Yeah.
Local bounty detected. Initiate.
Shadows. Long shadows. From the old boughs of the fairy forest. The flickering lights of the foolish fire guiding your path. Come, come, they beckon. Does this make any sense to you?
And we have our next clue. Shadows, long shadows from the old boughs of the fairy forest, the flickering lights of the foolish fire guiding your path. Come, come, they beckon. Also, there's something horrible out there. Look at that. Kind of like a king-size one of the brood pods. Tano Nyarlatho. I think there's a special boss we can summon here. But he's another one of the level 50, I have no chance of fighting it alone bosses. Initiate the seagull scream cadence. They thought the fishing boat lost. Then it returned to port weeks overdue. It brought no relief. It brought no comfort. It only brought the fog. Seagull sounds. Looks like fish people. So we got another clue. Does anyone want to take any shots at this one? Or shall I just go ahead and head over there?
Critical empowerment results.
I can just wander over. The fairy forest and the lying, misleading flames refers to the wispwood over here.
Guess what? More visions. This time there's bees. The incessant buzzing of bees. And flowers. Flowers blooming out of season. To mark the path ahead.
Yes, bees. Where would we find bees in the late autumn? Flowers blooming out of season. Give it another minute or two, see if anybody wants to take a stab at it, and then we can head over. Need to talk to Moose, too, at some point. No problem. So, our next point is up here. Next to our cowboy friend. And it's the gate to Agartha. You can see all the bees buzzing around and
They keep coming. The visions, it's exhausting. Now I see an angel, guarding hollowed ground, sword in hand to ward off evil and to guide the way. They keep coming.
see how some flowers are blooming here still. The anima poured, the anima pouring out of animal wells and the Agartha portals kind of facilitate plant growth. They're always kind of warm year-round. The bees flock around them. The bees will get annoyed if you aren't welcome. You know, the animal well over here, we've got like a bunch of ferns and such growing up around it. And they always do that, even when they're like indoors or in caves. You know, life magic. So our next clue is, I see an angel guarding hallowed ground, sword in hand to ward off evil and guide the way. I might just go talk to Moose while we're seeing if anybody comes up with any suggestions on that one. I think Moose's mission is another action one. A church would be a good place to try. Do you want to head right over there, or do you want to talk to Moose first? He's over here. Because the thing with the investigation and the action missions, we can get one of each.
Hello, my friend.
Hello. Moose is a great guy. I like him.
Back in my old life, I always wondered what was around the corner I didn't take, down the road I didn't go. That's how I ended up here, up to my elbows in machine grease, rigging bombs. Relax, my friend. I got plenty of experience blowing shit up. I got a handle on death and the instruments thereof, and no desire to see the infinite darkness claim any of us quite yet. These mechanical servants of the Reaper will stay still and silent till I'm good and ready to push that button. Traveling the big country's taught me everything from bull riding to bonsai, enough to cause a man to lose his appetite for destruction. But circumstances require us to yield to the greater good, even when that greater good isn't all that pretty. Road here said I'd be pitching in with soft-shell lobster season. Instead, I found nightmare country, maybe the very rotten heartland of it. But I'm philosophizing. Life is sacred. Every moment is precious. Which brings us right back around to blowing up dead guys. I've got no shortage of time or ideas. What I'm lacking is the nuts and bolts of it. I could fill a shopping cart down Main Street, but getting out there and back, that's what's kicking my ass, my friend.
Luckily, we're zombie-proof.
There's nothing like the confines of a cubicle or a packed subway to give a man perspective. I was so caught up in the grind of office politics and the endless hunt for affirmation and money, I didn't realize I was getting sick. Friend, I was no more alive than those things out there, and a sight less mobile. The disease that grew inside me was as black as theirs. Freedom lies in being bold, said Robert Frost. So, I boldly quit my job and traded my rent-controlled apartment on Christopher Street for a vintage Harley and an old poncho. Found my salvation in the open road, and I haven't looked back since. Traveling the open country, you learn to be prepared for whatever the land throws your way. Faced with the elements, you gain a new appreciation and respect for nature. You come to accept how small and insignificant you truly are. Nature is neither good or evil. It just is. But there's nothing natural about the storm that rolled in on Solomon Island, or the fog that followed. There was evil in that fog, whispering to everyone in its path. The townsfolk followed the fog back into the sea, as if possessed. It was Deputy Gardner, Andy, saved my life. He grabbed hold of me when the fog got into my head, tied a rope around us both, kept walking the other way. It was like the whispers didn't get to him. When I finally got my wits back, the fog had rolled back out again to where it is now. We shook hands, and we started looking for survivors and building this fortress. That man saved my life, selflessly, and I love him for it. I'd go to the ends of the world and back for Andy. I don't think I'll ever win him over, though. Living on the razor's edge of society, your eyes open up to the possibility that there's something more to this world. Something most people are too blind or too preoccupied to notice, even if it's right under their noses, and has been all along. I only noticed small things at first. Roads that appeared and disappeared, folks who traveled by way of gates drawn in chalk on brick walls, houses bigger on the inside than on the outside, magic trinkets sold at yard sales, street shamans capable of taking out the cancer inside you. But it wasn't until I found myself face to face with werewolves in New Orleans that I realized there's a secret war going on. After that, I couldn't escape it. I saw signs and sigils everywhere. I met recruiters for the Templars, Illuminati, and the Dragon. They all seemed to think I'd make a useful operative. I tell them I take no sides, and that I'd be little use to them. But the United Against Darkness thing I can get behind. We're all in this together, and we've all got work to do. Andy and Helen, Deputy Gardner, Sheriff Bannerman, they're the reason I stayed behind when I could have just gone. I know the secret roads. I know how to ride out of here, through places the fog can't touch. But folks like them and the rest of the survivors here in Kingsmouth deserve better. I'm not putting you on the spot here, friend. I know you got other places to be, other wars to fight. Which is why it's doubly important I stay behind. There's an honesty and an innocence to these people, and they genuinely know and care about one another. Of course, I can't claim total selflessness. My heart's gone soft for Andy. And even if he'll never feel the same way for me, as long as this heart's beating, I won't let any harm come to him.
They're married in the tabletop.
I've spent the better part of 2 decades on the road, my friend. And I've learned that there's not a loose bolt these hands can't tighten, not a broken transmission they cannot fix. You give me a handful of nails and some wood, and I'll build you a house. When the undead came marching up Main Street just a day or 2 after the fog pulled back, we did our best to prepare for the worst. Andy and me, with the help of the rest of the good folk here, built ourselves something better than a house. We built a castle. It won't hold forever, but as long as we're breathing, as long as we believe in salvation, with or without help from the likes of you, we will walk tall and stand firm.
But yes, they're very cute. Shopping list. Info ingredients. Cold packs, can probably get them at the fire station. And if cold packs means plenty of ammonium nitrate. Diesel, can probably get some from the wrecked trawler near the lobster trap. Napalm, frozen orange juice concentrate. Hell, it was on Fight Club, gotta be worth a shot to make my own napalm. Can probably concentrate the orange juice myself. Should be some in the cafe on Arkham Avenue. Kitty litter. That bread and breakfast was crawling with cats when I went past there. Tyler Durden's special mix had better work. Gasoline. I can just siphon gas from the cars in the barricade. Miscellaneous. Propane tanks. Can probably find some at the gas station. Always good for either freezing or burning something. Glass bottles. Can use all the old cola bottles Andy left lying around. Ball bearings. Plenty of bikes and trikes around, and not too many kids to ride them. Poke around the kindergarten or the park. So we can go do some shopping for Moose. We'll stop and grab these. If we come up around the park, we'll be close to the church. Doing on missions. We can pick this one up. Dirty laundry. A cleaning woman lies on the edge of a childless park. There's no shortage of dead in Kingsmouth, nor of secrets they may have kept. The woman clutches a phone in her hand. There's a message flashing on the screen. Someone was trying to reach her. Maybe someone still is. You're totally exaggerating these wounds. Just crawl to the church and send me the Hawthorne surveillance. You are like right there. The control pad is under the stone in front of the church. The code for the keypad is the first song you plan to sing on Sunday. Ugh, I'm forwarding to this someone else in 5. You know what that means. Their mail. This is another investigation-y one. Not super hard, I suppose. That's Reverend Hawthorne. We'll talk to him after we finish Madame Rouget and Moose's things. But the first song they're singing is 576. And stone is over here. Everyone is eager to watch everyone. It is a sign of the apocalypse. This was an Illuminati surveillance project. They are watching Henry Hawthorne because his interest in their faction has been too ardent. If they were so concerned about him, It means he has gotten closer than he should. We too have faced such challenges in the past, devoted outsiders who managed to get one foot in. Our methods for dealing with them are far more direct. We have many graves to look at. Robert Dexter. Dexter's a name we'll see later. Tom Dexter. Eddie Stone. Illness took you from this earth, but never from our hearts. Ray McGee, shop owner. Answered the final call of the wild. Samantha Henderson, beloved daughter, how beautiful life was to her. Here lies some of Joseph Blythe, known by some as Resurrection Joe, never to be whole again, rest in pieces. And this is another of the special bosses. If we all find all of his pieces and bring them back here, then we can summon him. Hey, here is where Mr. Freezy got his severed hand, Eric and Mindy, bound by death, 1875. Just stick that back in the ground and get a nice Freezy cap for our trouble. George Gardner, rest a weary traveler, for with the dawn comes great joy. Alfie Dimmer, traveling salesman, now on his final journey. corpse in the cemetery is being rude. John Langmore, may he be remembered as he remembered others. Here's our angel. After I
This had better be the last one. It's terrifying. Cold, dead eyes, innocent, stare at you from the gallows. Their blank gaze a mirror to the past and the future.
That one is probably the hardest one we've gotten so far. Kinda need to take a stab at where the gallows might be. It does kind of... I don't want to give too much of a hint, but we haven't really looked at it before. You might be able to guess it from outside knowledge. But yeah. I might pick up a couple of the quests here, the War Memorial, Lord Bittern, that, and maybe work on Moose's things for a minute. Veterans Day. Kingsmouth, like so many other small towns across the country, lost soldiers in the Second World War. A quick glance at the nearby graves reveals that some veterans have risen as walking dead. Honor them by putting them back into their graves as soon as possible. Fallen war veterans have risen from their graves. This is not a proper epitaph for people who died defending freedom and human life. Send them back to the grave again so they can rest in dignity. They're just out there somewhere. Our wisdom flows so sweet. Taste and see. Transmit. Initiate New England signal. Receive. Initiate Lysmith frequency. Hot surface. Do not touch. Initiate the misdirection protocol. Witness the 1712 fire. Franklin, foreman. Step softly, a dream lies buried here. We'll learn more about Mr. Franklin, too. Bittern, I don't know the story of, though. He's just kind of here. I don't believe the game says anything else about him. Back to Moose's quest. Wrap his up and down this side of the coast. We are level 12, so we can check on Joe whenever we like. It's time for more platforming. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Is that any better? Joe Slater is the only one left. One by one, his fellows went away, like the deceptively vicious plot of a children's rhyme. Each is a tiny story in the belly of a different gull. And then there was Joe, but he is just barely Joe. Perhaps it was the object, or the primordial soup he swam through to get it, that passed on the fish oil leprosy. Yeah, no problem. Book of the Bokor. A book of voodoo stands out on an abandoned garage sale. It contains helpful recipes and incantations for various situations. One of them is a powder that can disorient zombies and stop them in their tracks. Could come in handy. The recipe lists a series of ingredients that are easily acquired. Search the area and collect the components. We need sand, pumpkin seeds, and potting mix. And it will definitely stop zombies. We can suppose the Lady Margaret fled both maelstrom and monsters. The engine came back to life, some instruments found lucidity, the boat made its way back to Kingsmouth. The fishermen kept the strange object they found to themselves. Some argued to sell it on the internet. Others said it should be brought to Innsmouth Academy for identification. They decided to bring it to the esoteric school. The next day brought the fog. Time passes, first in screams, and then in moans. This is a horror MMO, sort of. It uses a low population cap on the main maps, but yeah, this is Secret World Legends. It is a relaunch of a game released like 2011, just called The Secret World. They redid some of the mechanics, make it a little easier for people to get into. Didn't really work. It's not doing great. But they keep trucking along. It was made by Funcom. They have the Conan and Dune games that they're mostly focused on now. Did like Dreamfall, Longest Journey. I mean, I've played Minecraft, and I've seen Peak. But I haven't really done much with them. Yes.
Quick access inventory updated.
So now we have our amazing, definitely going to work, zombie powder. It's been a few weeks. I think this is my 3rd session on this game. Mostly just hanging out with friends. Wanted to show off my old, silly game. And our local is so disoriented. He's now twice our size. Yeah, the, like, lead writer on Dreamfall also did work on this one before he went off onto his own studio, I believe. Startled me, Raven. Transmit. Initiate disclaimer signal. Receive. Sweetling. Nightmare Alley is getting crowded. Look at the line. Come see the monsters claw through time. Hurry, hurry, hurry. There will be a slight additional charge for this attraction, but it's not $1, it's not a dime, it's a cold smithereen minted in grime. Witness, rules and regulations. No cameras, please, only notes. No one under the age of 2. Come see the world before it's through. Don't be huffy because we hack. The show goes on, so must you. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Thank you, bees. Looks like the Templars bothering people on the other one. Bothering their own people, I guess. Not really interested in going pro. Just felt like replaying my game and letting some people join me if they felt like it. Aw, thank you. So it goes. Focus. Our aperture opens on Kingsmouth. The fog came, and the townsfolk walked into the sea. And something that was lately them walked out. The dead that walk, horrors from the depths of the ocean, and the chill of the earth, rising with unnatural hungers. The closed and dead faces look familiar, but the vacant eyes hold none of the hopes and emotional relations that once inhabited the husks. They answered the call of the Drog. And we have, well, first kitty litter, very important. And now a suicide note. Journey's end. A note is pinned to the door. It reads, "I lost my husband of only a week to the fog. He followed the calls and walked into the sea like so many others. Why I was spared, I don't know, but living without him now that I just found him is punishment worse than death. I will go after him to the pier, to save him or join him." The author of the note seems to have been mysteriously protected from the fog. Investigate how. We can re-kill her husband over here. Cave, sir. A great storm caught the crew of the Lady Margaret, twisting clouds and waves as tall as houses washing over the decks. Prayers were said, the final kind. The tempest beat the boat, and the crew scrambled to save their cargo. In their toil, a sudden swell washed a mate overboard. The rest watched helplessly as their fellow's head rose twice with the waves. There was no third time. I don't know. I don't need an identity, I think. Like, most of the other people here I know. They've followed me over from other places. There's our first ghost. Ghosts have a mechanic where they will switch phases. Yes. Don't take her necklace either. We're gonna steal her stuff. There's a phase that takes more damage from physical attacks and a phase that takes more damage from magical attacks. And they kind of switch back and forth. They have like a lot of dancing mechanics. Especially like with some of them have differences between the male and female models. That woman was not supposed to outlive the fog, and in a way she didn't. It's not irony, it's the way of things. A pendant like that will create all kinds of havoc in the wrong hands. Luckily, now it's in the right hands. It might still create havoc, but at least it's havoc we can control, and that's the kind of havoc we like. That's chaos. We hope you see from this little episode how a small, seemingly insignificant event can morph into a significant one. So yeah, she was lucky enough to have a magic charm to protect her, but still didn't survive. And apparently we're just going to leave her there. Do some more of Moose's stuff.
Special assignment received. Initializing.
Kill children. for literally everybody, apparently. Yeah, hi, Brown. Moment. Yeah. You're not hungry. I don't know if you can hear my cat, but I can hear my cat. She was fed before I started. She's not hungry, no matter what she says. How are we doing completion-wise? Yeah, we're doing pretty well. We've got most of this part of the map done. Look at us go.
Additional assignment received.
The ingredients you have found for your friend should indeed serve many deadly functions. We look forward to the blood and violence. Killing always ends with the same result, but each unique way of getting there provides valuable information about our enemies. Do they abandon when a limb is lost, or swing it as a weapon? Do they run when they burn, or flop on the ground? Knowledge is precious. Concurrently, for everything is concurrent, we now know more about Kingsmouth's commercial layout and the distribution of its enemies. We are pleased. We'll pick this one up and then go check on Joe. I think this is the last one for Moose.
My passion for this life is my greatest weakness. Out there on the road, I found serene understanding of just what there is, which is more than I could ever want. And life is too sacred to miss even one single sunrise from nursing a black eye. That said, indifference is the greatest crime. I never turn my back on decent folks in trouble. And if I learned anything in Baton Rouge, aside from damn good bourbon chicken, it was that, oh man, do I hate zombies. Yeah, I tell you, there's a real enlightenment to be found on the open road, with no witness but the cinemascope sky. Solitude's the only real test of character. To be out there on your own is to see deep inside yourself. But soul-searching means nothing to those who don't have one. And solitude is no fortress against the walking dead. No. We need to stick together. This is a test of character forged in fire. I've been tinkering with these instruments of death, and I think they'll do the trick. Still need a test run, though. Preferably somewhere we don't knock over any picket fences.
Quick access inventory updated.
Namaste.
Temporary abilities acquired. Temporary abilities acquired.
Somebody was at the door, so being quiet for a moment there. sneaky. But occasionally we get to play with some other tools and weapons. Well, let's enter a different part of the sewers than part of the sewers we intended to enter. And I mean, I'm sure that Joe is fine that we poured napalm down here earlier.
Temporary abilities acquired.
I'm sorry. One slide. There it is. A convincing demonstration. We approve of diversified means, though Dragon cannot promise you strength in numbers. Fate decides how many we are, but as you have shown, numbers mean nothing in the face of preparedness. Your data allows us to analyze our enemy's strengths and weaknesses. This will make us prepared. For now, we are excited by the early results of long-range fire tactics. The greatest gift is an enemy who runs towards you only to lay down and kiss your feet. So, with all of that, I suppose we go and check on Joe. And figure out where we want to go from there. Red seaweed growing in the sewers. Brood pods. Freshly hatched drog. there's the female equivalent of the big guys over there. I kill all of her children. Excuse me, ma'am. Come into light so we can look at you. Yeah. There's Joe.
Quick access inventory updated.
Look on your face says even my good side is worse for wear. I've been trying not to think about changing. Like it could all be a bad dream I ain't woken up from. Nightmares. All nightmares. Since that storm blew us off course. Off the compass. Off the map. We didn't tell anyone about the shit we saw. About dead ships all caught up in red weed as far as you could see. About the things moving in the fog. In the water. About what we saw beneath it all. Deep into the abyss. Or what I found there. In that dungeon, darkness shone like a signal flare. Like something fallen down from heaven above, you understand? A blade made of pure light. A thing of terrible beauty. I could hear its siren song, just calling me. Last I remember was the Creed boys hollering as I took a hold of it. It took a hold of me. I wasn't strong enough, I know that now. They told me it pushed back the fog and the waves while I was out cold. Told me it saved us. It didn't save us. That thing brought the fog back to Kingsmouth. I brought the fog back to Kingsmouth. And I still hear that silent song. I know you hear it too. You could find it. You could stop that awful noise. Put that burning brightness back where it belongs. In the deep, in the dark. I wonder what would have happened if I never left that Red Sea. Maybe Joe Slater never did. And all this is just some pitch dark dreaming.
Well, he's alive. That's about all he's got going for him, really. And now we have the siren song, and we can follow it around. But maybe later. And here's one of the veterans we were supposed to be killing. Hi, guy. Convenient. Thanks for being here. And a brochure. The Kingsmouth townie must have had strong feelings about the Morning Light project for this to end up here. Who would bring morning light propaganda all the way out to an island town like Kingsmouth? Come see us at Angel String Park, which has been crossed out for Langmore Trail. The morning light. Embrace the light. What makes us human? Spirituality. Humans have the unique ability to change from within, to be better, to be happier, to reach the next level of existence. What is the next level of existence? Humanity is chained to old prejudices, old fears, old institutions. The next level of existence is the revolution of how to be happy, how to be beautiful, how to bask in the morning light. What is the morning light? It's the answer. It's the first light of a new dawn. It shows us how to change the world and reach for the sun. How bright is your future? It's up to you. Philip Marcard and millions like him have learned how to release their inner potential. The new dawn is coming. Embrace the light today. Right? Where do we sign up? Down here, apparently. Great guy, that Marcard. True man of the people. Let's see, do we want to head up here? Yeah, sure. We can head up here and do these ones, I suppose. Get a couple of these things done. What else is up here? More war heroes. Hi. Yes. There was Cannonball Bill. Deadeye Dan Williams. Random Wendigo. Nice bridge. Nope, you're just a random zombie. Little boat. Somebody's been going across the strait here. What we got here? Langmore Bridge, dedicated to the works of Kingsmouth's Mayor John Langmore, and to law, justice, and reparation. May the unquiet dead of the hangman's span accept the lot passed to them in this life, and proceed to the next without sin. Huh, that's funny. We were looking for a gallows. Message from Madame Roget. The cold, dead eyes of the innocent stare at you from the gallows. Their blank gaze a mirror to the past and the future. So.
Additional assignment received. Initializing.
If a place didn't have an actual dedicated gallows, they would sometimes use covered bridges instead.
That's all of it. The storm is past, for now. I don't know what lies at the end of this road, but it's not good. For any of us.
And there is a goodie if we come back here while we're dead. You can see all the ghosts hanging around. Know where the near stamina well's not too far. There's my corpse over there. Always conveniently know where that is. And here they are. And the spectre we just fought. It's just a spooky little goodie if you happen to come this way. I love the ghosts in this game. How their features kind of warp like that. So cool. Yeah. Most time you can either come up to your body close enough and resurrect it on it, or we can just use the well we started at. Or any of the others, really. Initiate the merry chase. By chance, investigators discover Beaumont still in Kingsmouth after the fire. The Illuminati observe. He pretends to help dig through the debris, but he searches for something in the ashes. In their midst, he boldly watches those who seek him. The game is up. Several of the most powerful Illuminati approach to apprehend this arrogant man. In their minds, there is no more thought of banishment, only execution. Yeah, it's a little bit of a spoiler there. We haven't met Beaumont yet. Where was... There we go. Another veteran. So, I got about 15 minutes left. Is there anything you guys wanted to particularly do for that? We can learn about religion, either through the church or the morning light, or we can hop over to Crowley's account and I can show off the equinox event thing after I find this last dead guy. I'd hop over to Crowley's account as soon as I find this last zombie. We can do a few waves of, I think it's the occult defense. There are a couple kinds of sims you can do. Where is this guy? Am I even looking at the right thing? Yes, he is somewhere. Where has he gone? You? No. Any of you? No. No. I don't care about witch trial victims right now. No, I already killed you. Thought this guy was easy to find. There he is. Hanging out with the younger, fresher zombies. No vision is meaningless, no matter how vague or bleak. No riddle isn't worth solving, no matter how obscure. There will be an exodus one day. It has been prophesied by visionaries more powerful and trustworthy than those in Kingsmouth. When the final path is open, it will not be marked for fools to follow. Enlightenment is not a right. Our minds must be sharp. We must earn access to the truth. But first, we should learn exactly what threatens us. Only then can we depart. I'll get another goodie bag for that. We got skate sneakers. Well, this dead tree is probably a good enough place to park Neil for the moment. We will hop over to Crowley for a bit. Cute Revenant shirt. Now I have to remember how to get into it. Occult defense. I should probably stop in Agartha first. The Equinox. The Stonehenge scenario takes place in the center of the wonder of the world of the same name. Simulated location and date undefined. An occult relic, the Hagstone, is nested in the middle of Stonehenge and is the target of a potentially never-ending assault. The envoys of Avalon seek to celebrate the equinox by offering additional gifts for completing the scenario of their design. The Stonehenge occult defense scenario, built to test, train, and adapt to elite field agents, has begun. Enter Stonehenge, locate the simulated Hagstone, and then defend it against any threats that appear. The intensity of the opposition shall increase after each successive wave defense. And we get goodies. Finder, solo. Start easy because I haven't played in forever.
Initiating world simulation. Initiating reality simulation. Proceed when ready. Sharing time and space a new one. Portal open. Digital portal open. Recommend environmental awareness. Simplifying scenario. Remove portal. Additional portal open. Recommend environmental awareness. Applying tactical evolution. Creating strong, long-range threat. Simplifying scenario. Removed portal. Boss spawned. Good luck. Defense successful. Select whether to increase difficulty and continue, or to halt exercise. Increasing difficulty. Starting spawn protocols.
They did get a lot of nice voice actors for this game. Once upon a time.
Long-range hostile created. Protect the occult focus. Additional portal open. Recommend environmental awareness.
But yeah, this is pretty much all it is.
Exceeding spawn cap. Triggering swarm.
Enemies get harder the further we go. We are allowed to be killed. We just respawn back at the place where we started. Back in the corner there. The game only ends when this thing in the middle breaks. The Hagstone.
portal. Invasion leader created. Seek and destroy. Event successful. Select whether to increase difficulty and continue, or to halt exercise. Hackstone repair authorized. Spawning supply drop.
Quick access inventory updated.
Yeah. You guys want to keep going or just call it there? Might get to see some other enemies we haven't gotten to see before, but I don't know that it's necessarily the most interesting to watch or listen to. I can shut it down if you have other things to worry about. Sorry if that was loud. No worries. I might try to go for the 10 waves, but yeah, I can go ahead and call it an evening. Thank you all for being here and keeping me company. And I hope the rest of your nights are pretty good.